कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So I seek blessings. Okay, so we have been discussing from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2. This is entitled Contents of the Gita Summarized, or in a nutshell we can say the summary of Bhagavad Gita. So Gita is like, which is the essence of all Upanishad, and the second chapter is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. Because whatever Krishna has to say to Arjuna, it is covered in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and further it is just an elaboration. And particularly we will be discussing today text 15, and so Prabhupada said this text 13, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 very important verses, like for us, like one should contemplate every day if he really wants to achieve the goal of life. So let us recite together. Yam hi na vyathayante te Purusham Purusharashabha Sama Dukkham Sukham Dhiram So Amritatvaya Kalpate Yam hina vyathiyante te Purusham Purusharashabha Samadukha Sukham Dhiram So Amritatvaya Kalpate Yam hina vyathiyante te Purusha Purusharashabha Samadukha Sukham Dhiram So Amritatvaya Kalpate Yam hina vyathiyante te Purusham Purusharashabha Samadukha Sukham Dhiram So Amritatvaya Kalpate Yam hina vyathiyante te Purusham Purusharashabha Samadukha Sukham Dhiram So Amritatvaya Kalpate Yam hina vyathiyante te Purusham Purusharashabha Samadukha Sukham Dhiram So Amritatvaya Kalpate Yam hina vyathiyante te Purusham Purusharashabha Samadukham Sukham Dhiram So Amritatvaya Kalpate Yam hina vyathiyante te Purusham Purusharashabha Samadukham Sukham Dhiram So Amritatvaya Kalpate Yam hina vyathiyante te Purusham Purusharashabha Samadukha Sukham Dhiram Amritatvaya Kalpate Yam hina vyathiyante te Purusham Purusharashabha Samadukha Sukham Dhiram Amritatvaya kalpate. Synonyms, translation and purport given by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanar Vinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Yam, one to whom, he, certainly, na, never, vyathiyanti, are distressing, ete, all this, purusham, to a person, purusharshabha, O best among men, sama, unaltered, dukkha, in distress, sukham, and happiness, dhiram, patient, saha, he, amrit tattvaya, for liberation, kalpate, is considered eligible. O best among men, Arjuna, the person who is not disturbed by happiness and distress and is steady in both is certainly eligible for liberation. So Krishna is saying here, like Krishna is addressing Arjuna is like the Purusharashabha. So we'll describe that, like, best among men. A different word, different names Krishna uses for Arjuna, and every name has a deep meaning. He said the person who is not disturbed by happiness and distress, yes, and is steady in both is certainly eligible for liberation. Like, so here the formula is given how to get out from this entanglement of material world. So I just read the purport. Srila Prabhupada writes, anyone who is steady in his determination for the advanced stage of spiritual realization and can equally tolerate the onslaughts of distress and happiness is certainly a person eligible for liberation. In the Varnashram institution, the fourth stage of life, namely the Sannyas or renounced order, is painstaking situation. But one who is serious about making his life perfect surely adopts the sannyas order of life in spite of all difficulties. The difficulties usually arise from having to sever family relationship, to give up the connection of wife and children. But if anyone is able to tolerate such difficulties, surely his path to spiritual realization is complete. Similarly, in Arjuna's discharge of duties as a Kshatriya, he is advised to persevere even if it is difficult to fight with his family members or similarly beloved persons. Lord Chaitanya took sannyas at the age of 24, and his dependents, young wife as well as old mother, had no one else to look after them. Yet for a higher cause he took sannyas, and he was steady in the discharge of higher duties. That is the way of achieving liberation from material bondage. Yam hi na vyathiyantete purusham purusharshabha samadukham sukham dhiram so amrit tattvaya kalpate. So it's a very interesting verse in continuation. Lord Krishna started speaking to whom? Arjuna. For whom? For all of us, basically, to enlighten. So he started from Natvevaham Jatunasham, then Dehino Asmin Yathadehe, and then he also told it's not easy to discharge one's duty. Then he gave the formula in the previous verse, that is Matra Sparashastu Konteya Sam Sitoshna Sukh Dukkada Agama Apayino Nitya Tam Stitikshasva Bharata. And it is not something new for us because Lord Chaitanya is also saying the same thing. That's called Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnana Amananina Manaden. What can you do in this age of Kali? Because everybody has a big ego. Amananina Manaden. And then you execute your business. What is your business? Kirtaniya Sadari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Same instruction. What Krishna is saying, Matra Sparshastu Konteya Sitoshna Sukha Dukkada Agama Apainada, you fight for the sake of fight. Not easy. Not easy because they are your kinsmen, family men. I can understand it's very difficult, but fight. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also saying like, this world is full of ruffians. Don't expect any respect, don't expect any honor. Rather, give the honor to someone who disrespect you. Why? So that Kirtani Sada Hari. Now here is continuation. There are some good words are there. We can really contemplate on that. Like one is Vyathyantate. What does it mean? Distressing. Actually, this whole material situation is a painful situation. It's a distressing situation. To accept the body is not a good thing. Like my Guru Maharaj used to give an example. Like, let us think of this body. What is this? People think that we enjoy through the body. But if you deeply ponder or contemplate on it, that this body is simply a source of suffering. And he has like a famous quote that this body is a wonderful instrument just to receive pain only. And then in this respect, in order to further elaborate, he used to give an example. Let us take the example of this finger. Now in how many ways you can give enjoyment to the finger? You can say, I can touch my forehead, or I can, like scratch if there's a, or I can, like these days mobile phones are there, okay, you can touch the screens and can feel something. But see, in how many ways you can inflict pain, or how many ways you can give pain to it, like you put it into mixer grinder, you put it into hot water, and on, railway track, or, like just crush it, scratch, like cut it into pieces actually. So a person who is really situated in knowledge, he understands that this body simply gives suffering. But still people pamper body. That is called ignorance. And that's why people suffer actually. So, and that's why, the more the people are in bodily consciousness, more they have the one problem, ego problem, like false ego problem. So much, I'm great. And that's why Harinam is so far. Because here is also one word like Dhiram. Dhiram means what? Dhira Purusha. So in this respect, today, like is a very special, today is Mahashivaratri. And among the Dhiras, like Lord Shiva is considered to be the Dhira Purusha. Prabhupada will explain further actually. So why Dhira Purusha? Because we understood actually, when Lord Shiva was in Samadhi, nobody could disturb. But demigods need commander-in-chief, and Mother Parvati has to worship. So like Dhira is one, a person who is not disturbed by, the, what you can say, like disturbed by, like this, the enticement of this world. Like there is a facility for sense gratification is there, but he is not disturbed. So this is called, and for that, this Krishna is using the word called Puru Sharashabha. So this another Vyathyantate and then Puru Sharashabha. Here Krishna is addressing to Arjuna as you are Puru Sharashabha. Means like, oh Arjuna, you are not an ordinary person. You are the best among men. Arjuna can say, Krishna, how can you say that? Like, first of all, you think you are coming in the line of my aunt, your Partha, because you are the son of Pritha, and then you are Bharatavamshi also. And keep it aside, you are my friend. Now, how greater a fortune one can have, that who is a friend of Krishna, is not an ordinary person. That is why he is best among men. And that is why they are the devotees of the Lord, they are also the best among men. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Yehi Sreshta Sabakar. Why? Because the devotees, the pure devotees of Krishna, have qualities like Krishna. So then Arjuna, like Krishna is actually sarcastically saying, taunting, you are the great Purusha Rishabha. Why you are being disturbed by this temporary situation? Anyways, one has to give up the body, na? Why are you lamenting? Just tolerate. So this is like, and then what to tolerate? Samadukham. Because this is the nature of the material world. This material world is dual. Nothing is permanent here. Whatever is truth in the morning, it is no more truth in the evening. No more truth in the evening. And then another chapter of life starts. Each passing day, we are close to death. Bhagavatam says, Ayur harati vepumsam. Sun is rising, sun is setting. What is it? What is the sun is doing? Taking your life, simply. And we think that we are living. Who is living in this world? Everybody is leaving. But because they are not understanding, that is why they are disturbed. Oh, I have this problem, that problem, family problem, business problem, leg problem, head problem. Because they are in asat. They have considered something which they are not. So Prabhupada gave 3 lectures in the same verse actually. One Prabhupada gave in Hyderabad, another Prabhupada gave in London, and another Prabhupada gave in Mexico. So Prabhupada is opening with this word, Purusharshava. Yes, he is best among men. And second Prabhupada is opening about like, yes, deathlessness. We want to achieve deathlessness. So Amrit Tattvaya Kalpate. Though we are leaving each passing second. Because we may know our manufacturing date. That's called date of birth. And we celebrate happy birthday. But everyone has an expiry date also. Because every product comes with expiry date. But because we don't know and it is not written, but it is there, we can't deny it. So this verse is actually reminding. Yamhina vyatyante te purusha purusharshava. You are purusharshava. You are the best among men. How come? You can worry about, you can worry about the comfort. Where is the comfort in this world? This world is not your place. You are a guest here. When we go into the hotel, do we decorate the hotel? We are the guest. We just go, finish our business, come back. That's not our home. That's a temporary place. So, Vyatyantete. If some disturbful situations are there, why you are breaking your head there? There is no need actually. Samadukham. So, happiness and distress. Actually, there is no happiness in this world. Samadukham. Who knows? Devotee knows. So again, this is a very classic verse, which clearly tells about the distinction between a devotee and a non-devotee. Because a devotee, who is a devotee? One who has taken shelter of Krishna, one who has taken shelter of Krishna's internal potency. That is Radharani. Like we chant, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Mahatmanastu Mam Partha Devim Prakriti Mashrita. My devotees have taken my shelter. That's why, they are not disturbed by it. We will understand actually. But what about the non-devotees? They have taken shelter of Durashraya. They have taken false shelter. They have taken shelter of Maya, Durga Devi. So what is the thing which makes a difference between a devotee and non-devotee? The opportunity to gratify the senses are there, both in front of a devotee and a non-devotee. And the desire to gratify the senses is also there within a devotee also. Because as long as we have the body, we cannot deny there is a desire to gratify this one. Because senses have a natural friendship with sense objects. Just like the rivers which naturally flows towards ocean, our senses naturally runs towards the object of the senses. Eyes always, run towards the beautiful object. That's why we decorate the deity. So that fix here. Ears are always hankering for for melodious sound. That's why we have Kirtan program. Isn't it actually? Skin are always hankering for touching. Okay, tadbhritti gatri sparshi anga sangamam. And yes, our nostrils, which is also hankering for good fragrance. Okay, offer nice flowers to Krishna. Have it. This satisfied. So we can't stop the activities of the senses because senses are meant for sense gratification. But so here is a distinction between a devotee and non-devotee. A devotee also have the desire to enjoy, but he knows that this is not good. And that's why he is not trapped. But a non-devotee doesn't know that. That if I will do, then I will be trapped. And that's why he is trapped. So what is the distinction? The facility for sense gratification is there for a devotee and for a non-devotee. But a devotee rejects it. Because pratikulasya. This is not favorable for Krishna, I will not do it. Like for example, Prabhupada, we follow the 4 regulative principles. Does it make us spiritual? No. 4 regulative principles simply make us human. And unless and until we become human, there is no question of spirituality. There are 3 planes, like animal plane, ahara, nidra, bhaya, methunam cha. Then there is a humanitarian plane. All religion talks about this. That's called morality. Satya, daya, tapas, shocha. That's no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no eating. No meat eating. Okay. Then above them there is a Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. 9 processes. So who can follow these 9 processes? One who is a human. And who is a human? Who follow these 4 pillars of dharma. Namely Satya, Daya, Tapa and Shocha. And if you follow, there is no misery for you. There is no misery for you. So who does that? Devotee does that. Because devotee do that. If I break any of these principles, I cannot become dhira. I cannot become steady in my practice. I cannot, because and is steady in both. How this steadiness come? How does this steadiness come actually? This steadiness comes by following the principles properly. It is if you follow dharma rakshati rakshitam. One who follows dharma protects him. Dharma protects him. So when these 4 principles are followed, then ahara, nidra, bhaya, methunam cha samanya etat pashubhir naranam dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesha. These 4 principles actually bring us from animal plane to human plane. And now let's talk about spiritual life. Then one can aspire for Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. And that's why Krishna is saying here, just tolerate in the beginning. Because in the beginning, it will not be easy for you. Because we have been changing our body from so many lifetimes. Even what to say about so many lifetimes, within this lifetime we are changing our body. Dehino asmin yathade. From childhood to youth to old age. Body is continuously changing. But the change is so minute, it is not noticeable. And we have discussed that. What is that change? With each passing day, our duration of life is reducing. Ayur harati ve pumsam udyan asta chayan naso. Tasyarte tat shanonita kauttama shloka vartya. But there is a class of people. The sun is not taking their life. Who is that class of people? One who is engaged in discussing about Uttama Shloka. Now who is Uttama Shloka? Uttama Shloka is another name of Lord. Why is Uttama Shloka? Because he is the best person, Uttama Purush, Madhyama Purush, Uttama. And his devotees glorify him with choicest poetry. That's why he is called Uttama Shloka. So anybody who is engaged in Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaran or in Krishna consciousness, sun is not taking his life. But others, sun is simply taking their life actually. And they don't understand. Why they don't understand? They think that I am living. I am aspiring to be happy. My goal is to be happy in this world. Now the goal is not to be happy in this world because there is no happiness in this world. The goal is actually to get out of this world. So now the question comes like, till the time I am in this world, what should I do? Tolerate. No solution. Tolerate. Niyamina vetante purusha. Become a dhira, sober person. Tolerate. Yes, my senses are telling me to do this. Anukulasya sankalpa. Pratikulasya. This is not favorable for Krishna. I will not do it. And this kind of consciousness comes by the blessings of spiritual master. Chakshudana. Dilo yehi. Janme janme Prabhu say. Divyagana hriday prakash. This inspiration, this knowledge comes from within. No. Don't touch this. By touching that, what will happen? Oh, I will fall from my sadhana bhakti. I will fall from my Krishna consciousness. So I should not do it. We don't say no eating. We say no meat eating. Because when you do like that, you cannot practice Krishna consciousness. And if you do, you are a dhira. You immediately become steady. Similarly, we don't say no relationship. We say no unwanted relationship. When it is not required, no relationship. What if I indulge? Then you cannot become steady. If you indulge into a relationship which is not, advocated by Shastra or injunctions actually, then you cannot become steady. Then you cannot blame others. Oh, why this process is not working on me? Why I have been practicing Krishna consciousness for so long, but no results are coming? Why still am I not attached to the holy name? Why still, I cannot focus in Bhagavatam class? Why, still deities are just like stone for me? And why sometimes, I do my sadhana bhakti properly? Why other time I fail to do that? Because no steadiness. Because from where the steadiness will come? By following principles. If you follow the principles, then it will come. Like practicing Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaran is like igniting the fire. But if you don't follow the regulative principles, it's like pouring the water. One side igniting the fire, another side pouring the fire, then what will happen? Nothing will happen. And now after spending 8 years, 10 years in Krishna consciousness, nothing is happening. Nothing. This process is not working. Something is wrong in the process, I think. Not wrong in me, something is wrong in the process. I think something wrong in my bead weight. These beads are, because these are tulsi beads, not big beads, that's why I'm not able to chant. No, this is not the case actually. So amrit tattvaya kalpate. If you are aspiring for liberation, because to stay in this world is not a real thing. Of course, our process is not also that. We are not aspiring for enjoyment also, and we are not aspiring for liberation also. We say we are not enjoyer. Yes, we are not enjoyer. Krishna is enjoyer. We don't say we are, then what's so we are not aspiring for, enjoying, or we are not aspiring for renunciation. So we are not enjoyer and we are not renunciate. Then the question comes, who you are? We are servitor of Krishna. And that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, Mam Janmani, Janmanishware, Bhavtat Bhakti Rahiti. Oh, Krishna, if he wants to keep me here, no problem, keep me. But one request, keep me in the association of your devotees. Why? Because my Guru Maharaj used to say that, when you keep me in the association of devotees, because in association of devotees, material energy is not there. Maya is not there. In the association of devotees, there is a special energy. That's called spiritual potency, Radharani. The Shakti. When we remain in the association of devotees, actually we are surrounded, we are protected by the Krishna's internal potency. Because who are the devotees? They are the Mahatma. Mahatmanastu Mam Partha. They have taken shelter of Krishna's internal potency actually. So even though we are nothing in Krishna consciousness, but if we are in the association of devotees, we are very strong. Because we are constantly protected by the internal potential. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. But what if we go away from the association of devotees? Then we are inviting danger. Then we immediately caught by Maya. Krishna bahirmukha jiva, bhogavancha kare, nikatastha maya tare, japatiya adare. Maya immediately catches. And then the suffering starts. So this suffering is for those people. Though there is no suffering for a devotee. Actually, when one who is properly executing devotional service, it says, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu says actually, one of the first symptoms of pure devotional service is Kleshagani. Kleshagani. And then Shubhada. There is no question of Klesha. And literally we have experienced that after coming in Krishna consciousness, now we are not that much worried we used to be before coming in Krishna consciousness. Earlier, small, silly problems used to, break our head. But now, even though anything happens, and that is the taste for a devotee. Prabhupada said, what is the taste of a devotee? Even in the most difficult situation, a devotee is not deviated from his path. That is the qualification that somebody is a devotee. The greatest example in this respect is Srivas Pandit. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was performing Sankirtan in Srivas Angan, and his son left the body, and all the ladies in the chamber, they started crying. And Srivas Pandit heard that where the crying sound is coming, Mahaprabhu is dancing. in Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Then he immediately ran into the room and then he found that, why you people are crying? Don't you see Mahaprabhu is dancing? Why you are disturbing? They said like, oh, your son left the body. Is it? Nobody will cry. And everybody stopped crying actually. And he came out. And the kirtan was going on. But after some time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu realized that like, Srivas, what if, I'm not getting the taste like other days? Is there something wrong? No, Mahaprabhu, everything is okay, perfectly fine. No, nothing is wrong. And then Mahaprabhu said, no. Then Mahaprabhu said, what is there? Why the ladies are there in the room? Then Mahaprabhu went and found the power. Then Mahaprabhu embraced Srivasa. Oh, just for my pleasure. So this is, the qualification of a devotee. Devotee means, he is not aspiring for his own personal happiness. The devotee is actually aspiring for Krishna's happiness. There is no desire for a pure devotee. Swasukukik abhilashani. There is no desire for, one's own happiness. If it is there, then it is a desire how my Guru can be happy and how Krishna can be happy. If we keep that kind of thought in our mind, there is no distress. Here is the question of distress. So this is like sama dukkham sukham dhiram so amrit tattva kalpate. So Prabhupada also started with a very interesting. He said anyone who is steady in his determination. Now this word Prabhupada is using. So when we will go to 6th chapter, we all have heard the story of this sparrow bird. When the ocean takes her eggs, the Garuda comes. That's the story of determination. But let us go to Upadeshamrit, where Rupa Goswami also uses this word actually. Because this Upadeshamrit or nectar of instruction is for beginners devotee, not for sannyasis, for beginners. Because those they are in Krishna consciousness, though they are devotees, it is expected from that they should be at the level of sannyas. Because sannyas is not a big thing. Because where the sannyas, when a person reaches to the stage of sannyas, bhakti begins. I am not saying Gita is saying. 18.55 is a Brahma Bhuta, Prasannatma, Na Shochati, Samadukam, Na Shochati, Na Kankshati, then Sama Sarveshu Bhuteshu, Mad Bhakti Lapte Para. When you reach to a stage, then you can get bhakti. Brahma Bhuta, yes, Brahma Bhuta. What is Brahma Bhuta? I am servant of Krishna. Jivera Swarupaya Krishnera Nityadas. I am servant of Krishna. Yes, what is the problem? And because this Varnashram is an external situation. Krishna consciousness does not depend on your external situation. But it is needed because we live in society, we have to present ourselves, and our movement is a preaching movement. Because not everybody is on the level of soul. Majority of the people, are due to their strong false ego, they are on the bodily conception of life. Even after coming in Krishna consciousness, they remain on the bodily conception of life, and that's how they perform mixed devotional service. Though they are in Krishna consciousness, but their aim is not to serve Guru. Their aim is not to serve Krishna. Their aim is to take something from Guru, take something from Krishna, like demigods. So like Sukha Sampati Ghar Aave Kashta Mite Tanaka Om Jai Jagadish Hare. Or there are some devotees, they say there is so much anxiety in the service of Krishna. It's better let me just sit down and do my things and let me just get out myself. I don't want to do anything in material world. I don't want to do anything in spiritual world also. That's a liberation, jnani. And this is not bhakti. Anya abhilashita shunyam jnana karamadhyana vratam. No. It's mixed devotional service. That is not like anukulyena krishna anushilnam bhakti ruttama. What? Then how you will understand anukulyena? What Guru says. If Guru says dance, then dance. If Guru says study, then study. If Guru says sit down, then sit down. If Guru says go and serve the devotees, okay, serve the devotees. This is bhakti. Because bhakti is not for our pleasure. Bhakti is for the one to whom we are doing bhakti, for his pleasure. So of course I don't know about others, but like I'm not qualified, or like majority of us are not qualified that we can directly serve Krishna. That's why there is a chain actually, Guru Parampara. So this is the thing. So then he is saying actually, okay, so we were that the point on sannyas actually. So this is bhakti. So the point, in the bhakti, the main aspiration is to satisfy, to please Krishna, to please Guru, and that is why it is said that actually. So Chaitanyera Bhaktagana Vairagya Pradhan. If anybody who is actually following the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is actually Vairagya Pradhan. Let us start from the third verse. Na dhanam. Of course, people say na dhanam, but inside the heart say ha dhanam. Because it is needed. It's practical, that is practical. And that's true also in a sense. But actually, Mahaprabhu is saying, don't worry, na dhanam. Okay, that's okay. Na janam. Okay, that's okay. Na sundarim. Okay. Kavitam va jagadishakam. Then mam jana. Actually, this every day we recite na dhanam, na janam. But still inside that na ha dhanam, ha janam, ha sundarim. What can be done? Because the question, we cannot be artificial and we cannot be, because the question, we have been transmigrating from life after life. We don't know how many bodies we have changed. And in each body we are doing the same thing, same 4 things, not a 5 thing. Ahar, Nidra, Bhai and Matan. Now this impression is so deep, so deep in our heart. Even after coming in Krishna consciousness, practicing nicely, these desires are there. And that is why here it is like that, one should be dhairya, one should have determination, steady determination. Bhurijan Prabhu writes in his book, Japa book actually, that how this heart is contaminated. Like for example, just to understand that there is a 25 kilometer dirt thickness, that the thickness is there, 20, like when we wear a white collar shirt, and if we wear 1 day, 2 days, all 7 days we wear, 8th day it's very difficult to clean it, and it doesn't go away. Similarly, our consciousness has been polluted for so long. Is it that just in 1 day chanting 64 rounds it will be cleansed? But it is a keep on doing. What, like Rupa Goswami, Syat Krishna Nama Charita Disitapta Vidya Pitto Patapta Rasanasya Naro Chikanu. Krishna's name, form, pastimes, qualities are non-different, but a person whose tongue is afflicted with jaundice, he cannot taste. He cannot taste. And what is that jaundice? That material disease. This Bhishma is my grandfather, and this Dronacharya is my guru, and how this is Prabhupada like, this is my family. Sannyasi also has to, it's a painstaking kind of thing. Oh, how can I give up my family? Prabhupada gives an example from his own life. Many times my spiritual master used to come in my dream and he used to say, Abhay, come, take sannyas. And I used to feel it's very horrible dream. It means I have to leave my home, my family, even Prabhupada. So what to say? And that's why this question is also addressed in Uddhava Gita. Uddhava asked a similar question actually. Krishna, how come that we repeatedly hear that we are not the body, we are the soul. And soul is always different from the body. But despite hearing so much and following the spiritual practices also, why it is so difficult to separate soul from the body? Interesting, na? And Krishna gives the classic answer to Uddhava. Yes, Uddhava. Because since so many lifetimes, soul has been changing the body. And so many bodies were awarded to the soul. So soul has completely entered into the body and body has completely entered into the soul. That's why it becomes very difficult. Now, so it's very difficult to identify ourselves with our body. Or it's very difficult to discriminate between ourselves from our body. And why this happens? Who binds soul and body? It is actually false ego. And today is a very special day actually. There is one personality who can actually help us in removing our false ego. That is none other than Lord Shiva. So let us chant his mantra. Srimad Gopishwaram Vande Shankaram Karunamayam Sarva Klesha Haram Devam Vrindaranya Ratim Padam. So this is Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti saying in Braj Riti Chintamani that Srimad Gopishwaram Vande. I offer my obeisances to that Gopishwara Shiva. Shankaram, he is Shankaram, all auspicious Shiva, and Karunamayam, he is most merciful. Ashutosh Bholenath. Sarva Klesha Haram Devam, please Free me, vyathiyantete, free me from this klesha. Why? Because of this false ego, I think that I am the body and all these arrangements which are related to body, they are me and mine. And that's my problem actually. So, and then what you do? Vrindaranya ratim padam. You give me the taste for the forest of Vrindavan. You give me the rati for the forest of Vrindavan. And that again Rupa Goswami is saying, what he is saying? Kintu adarat anudinam khalu seva justa. But if you do it respectfully, kintu adarat anudinam khalu, knowing that this is bitter. Because for a jaundiced person, sugar candy is bitter. But even though it is bitter, but kintu adarat, with a respectful attitude, sit down every day in the morning and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Kintu adarat, how? Anudinam. Not just one day, 2 day. One day I do, 2 day I don't do. No, anudinam. What? Khalu seva justa. You eat it. Then Syadi Kramad Bhavati to Tadgad Mulantri. It says in 7th verse, but in 3rd verse he said like, but for doing that what you need? A, B, C, D. Now what is A? A means attitude. Now what is that? Utsahan, Nishchayat and Dhairyat. So there the word is Nishchay. And Prabhupada write that Nishchay means confidence. Actually the translation goes like that, determination. But Prabhupada said Nishchay. Bole, what is Nishchay? Confidence. What is confidence? That I will follow only those things which helps me in bhakti. I will follow only bhakti. That is confidence. Besides bhakti, I will not see towards any other path. No karma, no jnana, no dhyana. Only bhakti. And what is that bhakti? Anukullena Krishna. In that bhakti, not what my mind says to do. I will do only what my guru says to do. That is called Anukulle Bhakti. Then there is no Vyathiyantete. And it's a formula. So Amrit Tattvaya Kalpate. You can achieve liberation. So that's called attitude A. And then what is B? B means behavior. What should my behavior? Behavior is Tat Karma Pravartanat. If you have to wake up at 4 o'clock, wake up. Go to Mangalarti. Oh, I don't like it. You like or you don't like. That's not a problem. That's not your business. It is told to you. Tat karma pravartana. Do what is told to you. Karishye vachanam tava. Go and do that. Then chant. Then hear. Then take prasadam. Do your prescribed duties. Then again come down. Refresh your mind. Like Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati said, like, beat your mind with the shoes in the morning. Actually, morning program is beating the mind with shoes. Because what is it? We cannot catch the mind. But giving the task to the mind which mind doesn't like to do. That's called beating. And in the Sham, brooming the mind. Beat them, beat your mind with broomstick. So that is the thing. And then C stands for character. What is the character? That sangatyaga. Don't go in that association where people provoke you for meat eating, intoxication, unwanted relationship, and then gambling. Don't go. But Ramanuja said a devotee should be like a salt. Inside and outside he should be the same. He should not have two faces. Whatever is inside, he is outside. Because that is called simplicity. And that is Vaishnavism. Because Mahaprabhu is Patit Pavan. He is not Kapat Pavan. If you are fallen, no problem. But if you are a hypocrite, no place. Mahaprabhu doesn't look. Like the example come, this brahmachari, milk drinking brahmachari. Oh, Srivas Prabhu said like, oh, Mahaprabhu, he drinks milk only. So then Mahaprabhu said like, what does it mean? Can he purchase me by drinking milk? Naham vedena tapsa na jnanena chedya aradhidhari tatsat tapkim. That's not. Krishna can only be purchased by service. Like selfless. And then it's like tat sangata and sato vratte. Direction. D stands for direction. What is your direction? Sato vratte. And that is the dharma tattva actually. Dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam mahajano yena kata sapantha. Tarko pratishta shrutiyo vibhinta. By logic and arguments you cannot understand what exactly, how you can achieve immortality. You really want to achieve immortality? Dharmasya tattvam nihitam mahajano yena kata sapantha. So then Prabhupada speak, then Prabhupada little bit discussed about Varnashram. Yes, we follow Varnashram system, but we should remember that devotee should not just be attached with the Varna and Ashram system because that is external. But that is needed also. But what is the goal of Varnashram? Sansiddhir Hari Toshanam. The goal of Varna and Ashram is to please Hari. Atha Pambir Dijas Reshta Varnashram Vibhagasha Swanustitasya Dharmasya Samsiddhir Hari Toshanam. But that is needed because Varnashram brings us to a humanitarian plane. It makes us dharmic. And there is a word called adhyatmik. Both has a difference. Krishna consciousness means adhyatmik, activities of the soul. But Varnashram is activities of the body, and both are needed. That's why, oh Arjuna, you are a Kshatriya. Fight. So in the discharge of your duty, you should not worry about sukha or dukha. If it has to do, if it has to be done, it has to be done. And Prabhupada wrote in previous example that time. A lady has to cook in the summer in the kitchen. She has to cook. Otherwise, how the family will get the food? So the question, like in due discharge of your duty, whether it is cold or it is hot, tat karma pravartanam. Just all right. And then Prabhupada further, Prabhupada elaborated, and in last Prabhupada gave an example of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually. Vairagya vidya nija bhakti yogam shikshart eva purusham puranam Sri Krishna Chaitanya sharir dhari krapam buddhimam. What is the next line? Sharanam prapadye. So this is written by whom? Prabodhananda. For what purpose Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came? Vairagya vidya nija bhakti. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't come to teach us how to entangle into this material world. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to teach us that how to come out from this material. And here is the formula. Simple formula. And Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj used to say in this respect, you should learn one thing that is called TTC. So of course, in our VIHE, we do a course called TTC, Teachers Training Course. But that's not TTC. TTC means tolerate, and then finally cooperate. Srila Prabhupada ki. We still have 5 minutes if any questions are there.
Probably how do we reconcile about the false ego which you started the class of? For a gentleman, dishonor is worse than death. And at the same time, if somebody is dishonoring you, you should tolerate it.
Right. That's the question because if we think we are gentlemen, then there will be honor and dishonor. But we are not gentlemen. Once Prabhupada was giving a lecture. In Vedic civilization, there is a first class man, Brahmana, second class Kshatriya, third class Vaishya, fourth class Shudra. One person from the crowd asked, then who you are? Prabhupada said, I am fifth class. Why? Because I am the servant of everyone. So what, if you remember this identity, Jivera Swarupha Krishnera Nityadas. But that's right. Actually, what is ego? Ego means we cannot remove ego. That's called like foolish, Mayavadis, things like that. Ego means identity. Main hu. And that is why Vaishnavism is superior among all processes actually. In Vaishnavism, we should remember we have two things. We have Vyashti and we have Samasti. We have our individual identity and we have to preserve it. And at the same time, we have Samasti, we have collectivity. We serve together. But individually we also aspire. That one should not forget. Otherwise it's Mayavadi actually. Like all the gopis are serving to Krishna. But also each gopi is aspiring to give her best. Or each gopas are aspiring to give her. The classic example in this is Prabhupada say like Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur discovered the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Bhakti Siddhant came, he built a temple there. Or mutt there, like Sri Chaitanya, and build, like further developed actually. Now I want, with the help of you all my disciples, that you help me in building this big temple. That is the Nityanand Prabhu's, forecast to Jiva Goswami. So the question, every acharya, every devotee wants to do something. It has already been done. Similarly, in Krishna consciousness, every living entity aspire to the fullest to serve their Guru individually and collectively. So of course, it has to be done under guidance. So like in ISKCON actually, we see the structure again. ISKCON is an organization which is so many temples are there. But each temple is independent in itself. But at the same time, they are serving together under the board of GBC. So it's like a collective management serving to, but each temple has its own performance, like, yes, we want to distribute more books, we want to, we want to make more devotees, we want to celebrate more festivals actually. Similarly, now it comes to us also. As an individual, how much I can serve to my Guru. And collectively, how we can please our Guru. Like in this respect, another example, like a Gopa is running, and you think, let me run so fast that I am defeated by another Gopa. Because he is also running the fast. Why? Because if we both run fast, who gets pleasure? Krishna gets pleasure. And for that purpose, Radharani expands into Chandravali actually. Let me have my own competitor. And let me serve so best. Like that's a competition. So who enjoys? When the competition is there, customer gets benefit. Who is the customer in this? Krishna actually. So the point is, this ego means identity. But when it is misidentified, we think that I am this body. That is a very inauspicious situation. And to think oneself body and with bodily relationship, that is called charma roga, skin disease, in the language of Srila Prabhupada. And like skin disease actually. Like Prabhupada is like, now Arjuna is here afflicted by skin disease. Why? Because he's thinking about his own enjoyment. Oh Krishna, if all these people will be killed, then to whom I will enjoy? Because generally in this material world, people enjoy with his family members. Relatives, Keith and kin. And if after winning, no relatives will be there, no family, to whom I will enjoy? Now Prabhupada thinks, see how selfish Arjuna is. He is not thinking about Guru and Krishna. He is thinking about himself. So the process main is like, how to come out. Then there is called real ego. Real ego means like, Jiver Swaruphay Krishnera Nityada. Because Krishna says in like Bhagavad Gita 15, Mame Vamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta. Hum kisi ke nahi hai. We are not, we don't belong to anyone. We just belong to one person, that is Krishna. If any relationship a Jiva can have, that is with Krishna only. All other relationships are false relationship. Why? Because Krishna need all relationship, and we are coming from Krishna, so that's why we also have qualities like Krishna. Krishna has mother, so we need mother. But our mother is temporary. Krishna has father, so we need father. And Krishna has Radharani, so people also need their Radharani. Prabhupada say like that actually. But all this mother, father, wife, they are with time and they are not with the time. But it doesn't mean that we become irresponsible or like that problem. We do it externally. That's why the secret is that generally people what do, when they go to Krishna, they make a drama. And when they go to home, they consider reality. Just opposite has to do. When we go to home, we have to be a pakka dramebaj. I am the best actor. Let me show my talent acting. But when we go to Krishna, then we should not be a dramebaj. We should be real. This is real. This is Krishna. So it doesn't change in attitude. And it comes by the blessings of Guru. When Guru, so the beginning, Prabhuji, we can start, we can constantly, I am the servant of my Guru. I am the servant of, let's say Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saying, Naham Vipra, Nacha Narpati. This is called Bhuta Shuddhi mantra. We Pujari sings like that. But who am I? Aham Gopi Pad Kamalyor Bhartur Das Dasanudas. So it is not like we have to constantly remind, because our problem is that we forget. Initially we come, we are Das. Then after some time people start calling Prabhu. Then one day we hear there is something called Mahaprabhu also. There is an opportunity to become. So people become like that. Because false. That's why we should pray to Lord Shiva. Mahanidhi, like in art of chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, you like that, like Lord Shiva actually helps us in freeing, because living entity comes into this material world by the help of Lord Shiva. Because Krishna doesn't directly deal with material energy. Because if Krishna deals with material energy, it becomes spiritual. And who is material? Durga, Vaishnavi actually. So Mahavishnu, who is lying, he is glancing on Srishti Sthiti Pralaya Sadhana Shakti Rekha Chayava Yasya Bhuvanani Vibharti Durga. And this glance is actually Shiva. This glance, this is called Kala or Mahakal, greater time. And this Shiva actually unites with Mother Parvati, because we know that how the living entity come into this material world? By the agency of male and female actually. And that's why Krishna says this is not like Dharma Vruddha Bhuteshu Kamosmi Bhartarshana. There is a purpose actually. Though Krishna says in 14th chapter, Aham Tasam Mahat Brahma Aham Bija Pradapita. I am the seed giving father. But how the living entity come from spiritual world to material world? through the agency of Lord Shiva. That is why Shiva is worshipped in lingam form, Shiva lingam form. Parvati Durga gives 84 like yoni and then Shiva linga actually. So that's why like this Shiva is called Devadi Deva Mahadev. And wherever there is a dham is there, Shiva is there guiding, and we must seek the blessings of Lord Shiva. Is that answer the question, Prabhu?
Very nicely. Thank you.
So we should constantly remind, I am not this, I am just one thing. And that's why it's very essential to hear Guru every day. And then when we hear constantly, then we understand what exactly he is wanting from all of us. And dhyayato vishyan puncha, when we keep on contemplating, then what happens? Just like if you start saying somebody, you are stupid, you are stupid, you are stupid. So, okay, I am stupid. Finally, that person accepts, yes, I am stupid. Then if I say, I am servant of Krishna, yes, I am the servant of Krishna. And that's a good thing. Of course, to become servant of Krishna is not a big, cheap thing. It's a great thing. Dhira. One has to become dhira. Unless and until one becomes dhira, there is no chance in progress in Krishna consciousness. Then you can't blame the process. If somebody bites his cheek with his own teeth, whom should be blamed? To whom should be blamed? यदि कोई व्यक्ति अपने ही दांतों से अपना गाल काट ले तो किसको ब्लेम करें, दांत को के गाल को? तो if we don't become dhira, of course we become dhira in association and by the blessings of devotees, because we need a protective environment and we need steadiness, and that actually comes by serving the devotees, by serving the Guru. I think we should stop. We already exceeded 5 minutes. Shil Prabhupada ki. Please forgive me if in any way like I was improper. Yes, Prabhuji, please.
What is the meaning of this line? Like you repeat this like, but if anyone, follow me like 84.
Yes, sure, Prabhuji.
So like it says, but if anyone is able to tolerate such difficulties, surely his path to spiritual realization is complete. What it means? How can you explain it? Can you explain it?
Yeah, sure, Prabhu. Like, because there's in English this saying goes like, no gain without pain. You cannot gain any pain, you cannot have any gain without giving pain. Suppose like you are a student actually, and if you don't take the pain to study, can you get good marks? Or suppose like you're a family man and you want to make your family happy.
No, please, like I want to
I'm coming to the point actually.
No.
Okay.
Like in which context it is said here?
Like you're asking a purport, na? So,
This
purport.
is the fifth line.
Fifth line.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
You should read it like but if anyone is able to tolerate such difficulties, surely his path to spiritual realization is complete. What it means?
Actually, they are talking, in terms of sannyas. Because in Varnashram, there are 4 stages of life. The one is called Brahmacharya. Brahmacharya means like, the one, one is like, one is simply, he's not a trained person. So under the guidance of a qualified person, he learns how to control his mind and senses. And if he get mastery over his mind and control, then he becomes a Swami. But those souls are very rare. They are called Naishtika Brahmacharya. Normal, I'm coming to the point, like just like coming to the sannyas point actually. And everybody, it is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita 4.26, and each order has a duty. Krishna says, Swadharme Nidhanam Shre. Give me a chance, like 2 minutes I'll explain. Then, if a person who feels that, still he has not done with his material desires, then, it is told to him that, okay, you take family life. And mind you, family life in a real sense, Grahastha Ashram, is not a joke. It's a serious responsibility.
Yes.
Prabhupada writes in purport that simply for the satisfaction of tongue and genitals, a person takes the heavy burden of family life. There is... So then, I'm coming. Have patience. Like in context, like if one comes to the 4th stage of life, that is called sannyas. Now sannyas means what? Samyak nyas. There are very rigid rules for sannyas, and there are 2 kinds of sannyas, Prabhu. One is called karma sannyas, and this karma sannyas is actually very difficult and which is not advocated for the people of the age of Kali. Like for example, sannyasi should walk barefoot. He should not travel in vehicles. He should wear just only one piece of cloth, that is called loin cloth, whether it is hot, cold or any season actually. He should not stay at one place. So these are, and he should not take, bhiksha. If by the arrangement of Krishna, if he gets, he should take, and if he doesn't get, he should not live in city, he should live in jungle. And in jungle there are ferocious animals are there, but one of the qualities is like he should be abhayam, he should be fearless. And all these things cannot be practiced. And even though Prabhupada says, one thing actually, there are so many sannyasis, they go to jungle and they become like monkeys. Then Prabhupada said, Naga Baba. In that same lecture actually you will hear that. And what he says actually, though they go to the forest, they remain naked. They don't stay at one place. Every day they change the tree. Monkey is a great renunciate. Because he doesn't make the home. Someday this tree, that tree, another tree. And purely, strictly vegetarian. Leaves and fruits only eat. Doesn't wear cloth, doesn't have home, doesn't. But the only problem, each monkey has 3 dozens she monkey. That kind of renunciate is like. So then he says like, no, don't become that kind of. So the question, externally we may give up. Krishna will say, Bhagavad Gita 3.6, Karmendriyani sanyamya ya aste manasa smarana indriyarthan vimudatma mithyachara suchyate. There are 2 things. One is called brahmachari. Another is called brahmachari. One who dwells in Brahman, he is a brahmachari. One who dwells in illusion, he is a brahmachari.
I want to ask the meaning, which context it is said.
Sannyas. It is context in the sense.
No,
Because
I think it is the said for Krishna consciousness.
no, actually the question, I'm coming now. Yes, correct. It's just like, there are 3 systems, Prabhu, actually. One is a Vedic system. And because like we are talking in terms of Vedic context, so Prabhupada is giving reference. But Rupa Goswami has given shortcut formula for that. Like, you don't have to follow this rigid system of, brahmachari, grahasth. If you just follow these 4 regulative principles, and which is not easy. Say, no illicit sex. It's not actually having it, even thinking of it. Like. Now tell me, is it easy in the age of Kali? Because entire atmosphere is surcharged with what? You see an advertisement of cement and there's a model there. Why the model should be there in the cement advertisement? Because nobody will see the cement advertisement. They will see the model. So this is the situation actually. So the question, contemplate, no meat eating, okay, fine. No gambling, this is not just playing lottery. No gambling means completely truthful and straightforward in your dealings. Not phone करके बोल दो मैं घर में नहीं और घर में ही हूँ. Inside and outside the same. No duplicity. It's not easy. Simplicity is not easy. And then no intoxication, leave it. Chalo, ठीक है. But what about illicit sex actually? This sex desire is deeply rooted in the heart of each and every living entity. This verse will come, Prabhupada say, who was the guru of Ramanujacharya? Yamunacharya. And he's like, Yadavadi mama chitta Krishna padara vinde navanavadhamanantum asid. See, externally one may bluff. But nobody is free from that propensity actually. Because if somebody is free from lusty desire, he is in spiritual world. Who is binding in this material world? This sex desire actually. But how to give up sex desire? By practicing tapasya? No. Vishwamitra performed. What was his standard? 1000 years he was sitting at one place. And then he just took a glass of water and drank it. That was his standard. Eyes were closed. Rambha came. She started dancing. And he failed. Yeah, sobri. And then another time, एक बार गलती हो गई, दोबारा. Next time, who came? First Menka came and then Rambha came. And he became angry. And it is say anger is the younger brother of desire. When desire is not fulfilled, anger is in mode of passion. And lust is in mode of passion. But anger is in mode of ignorance. But who can tell that? Prabhupada gives the example of Haridas Thakur. So it's not the only solution for becoming free from this Krishna, this lusty propensity is like if one gets an opportunity who is a pure devotee of Radha and Krishna, or who is a pure devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is a follower. And if he hears the narrations and pastimes of Radha Krishna from that person's in a very submissive attitude, Vikriditam, Ridvaga Rogam. This is called Ridvaga Rogam. That can only be cleared, by the mercy of that devotee when we hear. And that I am not telling, Shukdev Goswami tells in Bhagavatam. Otherwise, one may simply bluff. One may simply go on bluffing. Because Prabhupada writes in Bhagavad Gita 15.5, Nirmana Moha Jita Sangha Dosha. Simply by wearing saffron dress doesn't become a sannyasi. It's not a certificate that you have done. One becomes actually a devotee by the quality. My Guru Maharaj said, a devotee is judged by the quality of his consciousness and by the level of his surrender he has developed for his Guru. Because, who save us from gratifying our senses? The thought to desire this, the thought to gratify the senses keep on coming. Just like in an ocean, the waves are coming and going. But one who is surrendered to his Guru, he has the power to say no to it. But those they are not surrendered to their Guru, they fall victim of it. And that's how they cannot become dhira, and that's how they cannot practice Krishna consciousness sincerely. That's why Prabhupada is saying actually, if one can tolerate that, like Prahlad Maharaj says, it is like, Kanduryev Trapyanti Bahu Dukkha Vaja. Yan me thunadi grahamedi sukamitucham. Kanduriyena Karyori Bahu Dukkha Dukkham. Kanduriyena Manasi Bahu Dukkha. It is like itching, And when you scratch, you want to scratch more. And it's oozing. Blood is coming out actually. Pumsa Striya Mithuni Bhavametam Yato Pumsa Striya Mithuni Bhavametam. And then this Rishabh Dev says, and yato graha kshetra sutapta vittir janasya moho maya mahamamari. The more we indulge into gratifying our senses, the knot between soul and body becomes tightened. And that is why people take sannyas. Actually, everybody is advised to take sannyas. But the question, according to Varna and Ashram system, only Brahman can take sannyas. Now, what is the meaning of Brahman? One who has developed a satogun. That is why in ISKCON, we get Harinam initiation. And after Harinam initiation, if a guru sees that this person is sincerely following sadhana bhakti, then he awards him further initiation. That is called Brahman initiation. And it is expected from a person that now you get a sacred thread. Now just don't become a cheap Brahman, 2 paisa Brahman. Now you develop the qualities. Shamo damo tapashocham ahimsa shantir arjuvam jnanam vijnanam astikam brahmagan. And when you do that, and there is a ministry in ISKCON who observe that this person is doing from last 20 years, okay, now you can apply for sannyas. Because unless and until one is situated in goodness, he cannot follow sannyas. Because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Kama esha, Krodha esha, Rajo Guna Samudbhav. When you are in passion, you will be afflicted. So this is like, if you can tolerate this urge to gratify, then we can become.
This is also can be understand, like if somebody is a grasta devotee, and it is said, but if anyone is able to tolerate such difficulties, so that's also come in tolerance.
Because like when we go to 16th chapter, the quality is called Dhamma. There are 2 things, Shama and Dhamma. Shama means what? Externally controlling. But Dhamma means internally controlling. And it is not for sannyasis, but for householders actually. Who actually, Grahast is an ashram in which center is Krishna. Like people, see, again, like one is called principle and details. Actually, like who should become a Grahastha? Who should accept a wife for sense gratification? No. It is a putrarthe kriyate bharya. One who wants a child, he should accept a wife. And it is said that like how, because Grahasthas are also brahmacharis. They are called Upukurvan brahmachari. How? When they follow the principles. What is the principles? You should only indulge only for procreation.
Did anyone become brahmachari by his efforts or like?
No, nobody can become. He can.
System of karma behind.
Like system of karma. Because we should understand our precarious situation that we are under the clutches of Maya. If one wants to become a brahmachari, like my Guru Maharaj gave a series of seminar in which he is like, in Krishna consciousness, if they follow the formula given by Rupa Goswami, that is nectar of instruction, everybody is a brahmachari. Because the first verse says, Vacho vegam, manasa krodha vegam, udro past vegam, etan jiva vegam, udro past, etan vegan yo vishendira sarvam apimam pratim sashya. So does it mean that it is for sannyasi or those that are becoming guru? No. In Krishna consciousness, it is expected from us that we should not remain on Kanishtadhikari level. We should come to the level of Madhyam Adhikari. And if you want to be a Madhyam Adhikari, these 6 urges one has to control. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote a song like, Chaya Vega Doshi, Oye Vaishnava Thakur Tuma. If you simply take the shelter of our Guru and serve him, we can immediately conquer the 6 urges.
Anyway, it's so nice.
I'm sorry, Brother. I just like what I just shared. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Mancha kalpataru vascha kripa sindhu bhavacha pratana pavana vajna. Yes, ma'am. You personally discuss.
I just wanted to ask you what
Message here. Yes, ma'am.
you said that is it's understood that lemon is limitation also part of policy.
Limitation.
Lemon